Most people think saving money is about cutting coupons and skipping coffee. That's not saving money. That's reducing spending by tiny amounts that don't matter. Real saving, the kind that builds wealth, is completely different. My family has saved money for 3 generations. Not small amounts. Not 5 or 10% of income. Massive amounts. 50, 60, 70% of income saved consistently for decades. This is how you go from nothing to generational wealth. I'm going to tell you exactly how we do it. Not the theory. Not the motivation. The actual specific tactics we use to save more money than you thought possible. This isn't pleasant. This isn't comfortable. This isn't balanced or moderate. This is extreme saving that produces extreme results. And if you're willing to do what we do, you can save as much as we save. The first thing you need to understand is that saving money is not about individual purchases. It's about systems. Most people try to save by making better decisions on each purchase. Should I buy this? Is this too expensive? Can I find it cheaper? This is exhausting and ineffective. You make hundreds of spending decisions per month. You cannot optimize each one. You'll fail from decision fatigue. My family doesn't make spending decisions. We make system decisions. We set up systems that automatically prevent most spending, then we only make decisions about what remains. Here's what this looks like practically. Most people get paid and their money sits in checking accounts. It's available. They see something they want, they buy it. Every purchase is a decision. We get paid and money immediately splits into different accounts automatically. Savings account. Investment account. Bills account. Spending account. The money is divided before we can touch it. The savings and investment accounts are difficult to access. No debit cards. No checks. Transfers take days. The friction prevents impulse spending. The spending account gets a fixed amount. When it's gone, it's gone. No more spending until next month. This eliminates hundreds of spending decisions. You don't decide whether to buy something. You look at the spending account. If there's money, you can. If there isn't, you can't. This system saved my family from ourselves. We are human. We want things. If money is available, we'll justify spending it. So we make money unavailable through systems, not through willpower. Right now, set up automatic transfers. The day you get paid, money moves to savings before you see it. You cannot save what you can see. You'll spend it. Make it invisible through automation. The second thing my family does is we calculate savings rate as percentage of gross income, not as a dollar amount. Most people think I save $500 per month. This is meaningless. $500 per month on $30,000 per year income is 20% savings rate. $500 per month on $100,000 per year income is 6% savings rate. The percentage is what matters. My grandfather saved 85% of his income when he was earning almost nothing. As his income grew, he maintained high percentage, not high dollar amount. When you focus on dollars, your savings grows slowly. When you focus on percentage, you're forced to save more as you earn more. Most people increase spending as income increases. They get a raise, their lifestyle inflates, their savings stays flat. They make twice as much and save the same amount. This is insane. My family increases savings as income increases. Every raise, every bonus, every increase goes to savings percentage, not to lifestyle. If we're saving 60% and income doubles, we are now saving twice as much in dollars while spending the same amount we spent before. This is how you build wealth fast. Not by saving $500 per month for 30 years. By saving 60% of increasing income. Right now, calculate your savings rate. Total saved last year divided by total gross income. That's your rate. Not what you think it is. What it actually is. If it's below 20%, you're not serious about building wealth. If it's below 50%, you're building wealth slowly. If it's above 70%, you're building wealth at the pace my family builds it. The third thing my family does is we distinguish between fixed and variable expenses, and we attack variable expenses ruthlessly. Fixed expenses are housing, insurance, debt payments. Things that don't change month to month. Variable expenses are everything else. Food, entertainment, shopping, subscriptions, dining out. Most people accept their variable expenses as necessary. I need to eat. I need to have some fun. I need to buy things occasionally. So they spend thousands per month on variable expenses and think this is normal. My family treats variable expenses as optional. All of them. We can reduce variable expenses to almost nothing if we choose to. And we often choose to. Food doesn't have to cost $600 per month. It can cost $150 per month if you buy rice, beans, eggs, cheap vegetables, and cook everything yourself. Is this fun? No. Does it work? Yes. Entertainment doesn't have to cost anything. Free activities exist. Parks, libraries, walking, visiting friends. You can have a social life spending $0 per month. Shopping is completely optional. You don't need new clothes until current clothes have holes. You don't need new anything unless current things are broken beyond repair. My grandfather wore the same 3 suits for 20 years. He rotated them. When one wore out, he bought one replacement. He spent maybe $50 per year on clothing. For 20 years. That's $1,000 total. His colleague spent $3,000 per year on clothing. Over the same 20 years, that's $60,000. Same result, both were clothed. $59,000 difference. Multiply this thinking across every variable expense category. My family spends minimum necessary on everything variable. We don't optimize spending. We minimize spending. Right now, list all your variable expenses from last month. For each one, ask what's the minimum I could spend on this category and survive. Not thrive. Not enjoy. Survive. That's your new target. Cut your variable expenses to survival levels. Every dollar you cut is a dollar you save. Every dollar you save is a dollar that compounds into wealth. The fourth thing my family does is we eliminate convenient spending completely. Convenient spending is paying money to save time or effort. Food delivery instead of cooking. Uber instead of walking. Cleaning service instead of cleaning yourself. Car wash instead of washing yourself. Americans spend thousands per year on convenience. They're busy. They're tired. They don't want to do basic tasks. So they pay other people to do them. My family does everything ourselves. Everything we're physically capable of doing, we do. We don't pay for convenience unless we literally cannot do the task ourselves. My grandfather cleaned his own house until age 75. He mowed his own lawn until age 78. He washed his own car every week for 60 years. He never paid for these services. Was this convenient? No. Did it save money? Yes. Thousands of dollars per year. Over a lifetime, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You don't need most convenient services. You're not too busy. You're not too important. You're not too tired. You're choosing convenience over wealth. That's fine if you want to. But don't pretend you're trying to build wealth while spending thousands on convenience. Right now, list every service you pay for. Cleaning, lawn care, food delivery, car wash, anything where you pay someone to do something you could do yourself. Cancel all of them. Do the work yourself. Save the money. The fifth thing my family does is we buy almost everything used or discounted. New is a scam. You pay premium price for the privilege of being first owner. the item loses 20 to 50% of value immediately. You just burned money for nothing. My family buys used cars, used furniture, used tools, used everything. We buy things that someone else already took the depreciation hit on. We pay half or a third of new price for items that function identically. When we must buy new, we buy during sales, with coupons, at discount stores. We never pay full retail price for anything. We wait for discounts or we don't buy. My father hasn't paid full price for anything in 40 years. He knows when stores discount items. He knows which stores have the best prices. He plans purchases around sales. This is not about being cheap. This is about not being stupid with money. Paying full price for anything is stupid. The same item will be cheaper somewhere else or at a different time. Always. Right now, stop buying anything new unless absolutely necessary. Stop paying full price for anything. If you need something, search used markets first. If you must buy new, wait for sales. Save 30 to 50% on everything you buy. The sick thing my family does is we live in modest housing far below what we can afford. Housing is most people's biggest expense. 30 to 50% of income goes to housing. This makes saving money almost impossible. My family spends 10 to 20% of income on housing. We live in smaller places than we can afford. We live in cheaper neighborhoods than our income would allow. We stay in the same place for decades instead of upgrading. My grandfather bought a small house in a working-class neighborhood in 1965. He lived there until he died in 2003. 38 years in the same modest house. Even when he was worth millions, he stayed in that house. People thought he was crazy. Why don't you buy something nicer? You can afford it. He could afford it. He chose not to. Because nice housing doesn't build wealth. Cheap housing builds wealth. Every dollar you don't spend on housing is a dollar you can save. The difference between a $2,000 apartment and a $1,000 apartment is $12,000 per year. Over 30 years, invested, that's over $1 million. You're trading $1 million for a nicer apartment. Is that trade worth it? My family says no. We'll live in the modest place and have the $1 million. Right now, calculate your housing cost as percentage of gross income. If it's above 25%, you're overspending. If it's above 30%, you're making building wealth very difficult. Consider moving to cheaper housing. I know this is drastic. I know it's unpleasant. But if you're serious about building wealth, you cut your biggest expense. And for most people, that's housing. The seventh thing my family does is we practice strategic deprivation to reset our relationship with spending. Most people are addicted to spending. They've never gone without. They've never experienced real deprivation. So they don't know the difference between needs and wants. My family practices deprivation periodically. We'll go a month spending only on absolute necessities. No dining out. No entertainment. No shopping. No convenience. Just housing, utilities, basic food. This is uncomfortable. This is boring. This is exactly the point. After a month of deprivation, you realize you can survive on far less than you thought. You realize most of your spending is optional. You realize your normal lifestyle is actually luxury. This resets your baseline. What you thought was normal now seems excessive. What you thought was necessary now seems optional. Your spending naturally decreases because your perception changed. My grandfather did this every year for his entire life. 1 month of extreme frugality. No exceptions. No excuses. He did this even when he was wealthy, to remind himself that he could survive on almost nothing. Right now, commit to 1 month of strategic deprivation. Pick a month. Starting on day 1, spend only on absolute necessities. Housing, utilities, basic food. Nothing else. Track what you learn about your relationship with spending. The eighth thing my family does is we never finance purchases except for assets that appreciate or generate income. Most people finance everything. Cars, furniture, appliances, electronics, vacations. They buy things they can't afford using debt. Then they pay interest on top of the purchase price. This is financial suicide. You're paying more than the item costs for the privilege of having it now instead of later. You're making yourself poorer to have things sooner. My family finances only real estate and occasionally business assets. Things that will be worth more in the future or that generate income to pay for themselves. Everything else we buy with cash. If we don't have cash, we don't buy. We save until we can pay cash, then we buy. This forces us to buy less. This forces us to save first, spend second. This eliminates interest payments. This keeps us from buying things we can't actually afford. The average American pays thousands of dollars per year in interest on consumer debt. Car loans, credit cards, store financing. My family pays zero. That's thousands of dollars per year we save that most people waste on interest. Right now, commit to never financing another purchase unless it's real estate or income-producing business assets. If you have existing consumer debt, pay it off aggressively. Once it's gone, never take on consumer debt again. The ninth thing my family does is we teach children to save from the earliest age. Saving money is a habit. Habits form in childhood. If you teach children to save when they're young, they'll save naturally as adults. If you don't, they'll struggle with saving their entire lives. My grandfather taught my father to save at age 7. Every dollar my father received, gifts, earnings, anything, half went to savings immediately. Not negotiable. Not optional. Half of everything saved. My father taught me the same way. Half of everything saved. From age 7 onward. By the time I was an adult, saving half my income was automatic. I didn't have to force it. It was just what I did. I'm teaching my children the same way. They receive money, half goes to savings. They're learning that saving is normal. Spending everything is abnormal. Most people teach children the opposite. Children receive money, they spend it all. They learn that money is for spending. Then as adults, they can't save because spending everything is their baseline. Right now, if you have children, implement the 50% rule. Half of everything they receive goes to savings. Start this today. If they resist, explain that this is how wealth is built. This is how our family operates. The 10th thing my family does is we calculate the true cost of purchases in hours worked, not in dollars. Most people see a price tag and think about dollars. This costs $50. Can I afford $50? This is wrong thinking. My family sees price tags and calculates hours worked. If you earn $20 per hour after taxes, a $50 purchase costs 2.5 hours of your life. You're trading 2.5 hours of your life for this item. Is this item worth 2.5 hours of your life? Is it worth the time you'll never get back? Often the answer is no. My grandfather would look at a price and calculate hours worked. This shirt costs $20. I make $5 per hour. This shirt costs 4 hours of my life. Is this shirt worth 4 hours? No. He wouldn't buy it. This completely changed how he spent money. A restaurant meal that costs $40? That's 8 hours of work. An entire workday for one meal that's gone in 30 minutes. Never worth it. A new car that costs $30,000? At $5 per hour, that's 6,000 hours. 3 years of full-time work. For a car that depreciates. Absolutely not worth it. This thinking makes spending painful in a good way. You feel the cost viscerally. You're not just spending abstract money. You're spending concrete hours of your life that you'll never get back. My father still does this even though he's wealthy. He calculates purchases in hours even though his effective hourly rate is very high. The habit is so ingrained that he can't spend money without mentally calculating the time cost. This is why wealthy people often seem cheap. They're calculating time cost. When you're worth millions, every purchase is theoretically affordable in dollars. But in hours of life? Still expensive. Still requires the same amount of time you'll never recover. Right now, calculate your actual hourly rate. Total income last year divided by total hours worked. Include commuting time in hours worked. You're giving that time to your job even if you're not paid for it. When you see a price tag, divide the price by your hourly rate. That's how many hours of your life the item costs. Ask yourself if it's worth that many hours. Ask yourself if you'd trade that many hours of freedom for this object. Often the answer is no. Often you realize the item isn't worth the time. Don't buy it. Save that time. Save that money. Invest it. Let it compound. These 10 principles are how my family saves 50 to 80% of income. Not through small optimizations. Through systematic, extreme changes to how we handle money. Systems that automate savings. Percentage-based targets that scale with income. Ruthless minimization of variable expenses. Elimination of convenient spending. Buying used and discounted. Living in modest housing. Strategic deprivation. No consumer debt. Teaching children early. Calculating purchases in hours of life. Let me give you a concrete example of what this looks like in practice. My father makes about $200,000 per year. Here's his actual budget. Gross income, $200,000. Taxes, $50,000. Net income, $150,000. Housing, $15,000 per year. He lives in a modest house he bought 25 years ago. Mortgage is paid off. Just property taxes and maintenance. 10% of gross income. Food, $6,000 per year. He cooks everything. Buys in bulk. No restaurants except special occasions, maybe once per month. For percent of gross income. Transportation, $4,000 per year. He drives a 12-year-old car. Just insurance, gas, and maintenance. 3% of gross income. Utilities and services, $3,000 per year. Just essentials. No premium subscriptions. No cable. Basic internet and phone. 2% of gross income. Everything else, $2,000 per year. Clothing, household items, occasional entertainment. Bare minimum. 1% of gross income. Total expenses, $30,000 per year. Savings, $120,000 per year. Savings rate, 80% of net income. 60% of gross income. This is what extreme saving looks like. This is how you save $120,000 per year on a $200,000 income. This is how you build wealth in a decade that takes most people a lifetime. Can you live like this? Can you spend only $30,000 per year when you make $200,000? Most people can't. Most people making $200,000 spend $180,000 and save $20,000. My father saves 6 times what they save. In 10 years, he saves $1.2 million while they save $200,000. In 20 years, he saves $2.4 million while they save $400,000. Same income. 6 times the wealth accumulation. The difference is entirely in the savings rate. Do all 10 of these things and you'll save more money than you thought possible. You'll build wealth faster than you thought realistic. You'll have financial security that most people never achieve. Don't do these things and you'll save 5 or 10% of your income. You'll build wealth slowly. You'll work until you're 70. You'll never have real financial freedom. The choice is yours. My family made this choice 3 generations ago. We chose extreme saving over comfortable spending. We chose delayed gratification over immediate pleasure. We chose wealth over lifestyle. The results are clear. We're wealthy. We have options. We have security. We have freedom. Not because we earned more than everyone else. Because we saved more than everyone else. You can make the same choice. You can save like we save. You can build wealth like we build wealth. But only if you're willing to do what we do. Most people aren't willing. They want wealth, but they want comfort more. They want security, but they want convenience more. They want freedom, but they want lifestyle more. You can't have both. You get wealth or you get lifestyle. You get security or you get convenience. You get freedom or you get comfort. Pick one. My family picked wealth, security, and freedom. We gave up lifestyle, convenience, and comfort during the building phase. Now we have both because we're wealthy enough to afford comfort without sacrificing security. But we didn't start with both. We started with sacrifice. We saved aggressively for decades. We built the foundation. Then we had options. You want to start with comfort and end with wealth. That doesn't work. You start with sacrifice and end with wealth. That's the only path that works. Start today. Implement these 10 principles. Automate your savings. Calculate your percentage. Minimize variable expenses. Eliminate convenient spending. Buy used. Live modestly. Practice deprivation. Avoid consumer debt. Teach your children. Calculate purchases in hours of life. Do this for 10 years. 20 years. 30 years. You'll be wealthy. You'll have what most people only dream about. You'll have financial freedom. Or don't do this. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep saving 5%. Keep financing purchases. Keep paying for convenience. Keep upgrading your lifestyle as income grows. Keep spending your life on things that don't matter. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, you'll still be working. Still worrying about money. Still living paycheck to paycheck at a higher income level. The choice is yours. Choose wisely.